So, same beginning of the draft as game 2.
Yeah, they don't want to have to cede any sort of early game control. You want to be able to take the matchup, be super confident that, you know, it's not going to be this early. Well, going to be a similar start out here. Rush once again, back to the Jarvan.
Yes.
See if the answer is the same from TSM.
Now, the analyst has talked about this, and they have differing opinions. Crumbs is saying Jarvan is just not viable against TSM. They're playing too safely in the early game. You're not going to get what you need. And Hai and Co were saying that, well, as long as you don't pick 3 losing lanes, you can make it work and find those plays afterwards. So we'll see if the draft looks different for the rest of the Echo Fox lineup.
Also, to me, Jarvan does scale more than something like a Rek'Sai. Jarvan brings attack speed, AoE buff to the entire team. Very effective early on. Can build tanky initiation for the team. So there are a lot of options. One of the big things about the popularity of this champion is its versatility.
Speaking of versatility, Echo Fox back on the Aatrox train, the top laner that won the previous game, and Solo had a very, I would say, good game on Aatrox over there in that one. So, a bit more comfort and can be a strong laner, of course, advantageous in a lot of matchups. Good into Vladimir heads up because the chain now works through Sanguine Pool. You can get the damage output there. 3 Hakuho Braum games in a row, 3 Galio games for Smoothie in a row.
All right, TSM not changing much up either. Lissandra back on the table for Bjergsen.
Ah, there it is. They get the Canamic for the bans come through. That's what Echo Fox, well, didn't have to face over in game 1, but TSM realized the Jax didn't work, so now Hecarim is the pick of the day.
And let's do a recap why Hecarim, even before the changes recently, was a good matchup into Aatrox with the extra speed. You can take Ignite, you can go for the all-ins. Now, you also get more damage by stacking up your Qs in lane. As a solo laner, he gets a lot more levels early on, so you can be much more of a bruiser. You don't have to be a mobility boots, lethality, one-shot rocket like you do from the jungle. And we are expecting this to be top lane, but I mentioned jungle because it can still be flexed.
It can be. It's just less popular to be a jungler, but certainly a possibility. All eyes point to top lane, but if there's something crazy coming out, and there suddenly is even crazier matchup and a comp synergy that makes sense, then maybe we see it. Hecarim Galio, certainly a great delivery system as well. So TSM, well-rounded. They should have a good advantage top lane. They should have a good team fight presence as well. We saw Bjergsen really explode on Lissandra, able to follow Akaadian around. I'm curious if Echo Fox actually bans some champions away. Will Rek'Sai get dropped off the table? Will they actually keep Akaadian from having the kind of game he did in the previous?
Looks like they are also looking towards the bottom lane, like everybody else. That Kalista last time around, so much different for TSM. Completely different look.
Wow.
Where they were very aggressive, and they actually ban out the Nocturne. They don't. Okay, so that can oftentimes be, you know, looking at possible split push, but even just snowballing lanes ahead with Hecarim. Hecarim plus Nocturne, Lissandra, Galio dive is like the most insane dive comp. So any sort of marksman is like, yes, please ban some of these pieces.
And Zven even fits alongside it. This is actually one of the 2 perfect picks. I would say Ezra being the other one of I can press R and also hit your backline. So good luck being anything. Oddly enough, Ziggs would be a decent pick against this comp. You can just like throw your stuff out from long range and not be dove quite so hard.
Or try and put the ultimate and bomb on yourself. Just throw everything up in the air and have it come down on your head.
And by Zhonya's Hourglass, you've got attack damage, plenty of it. kog'maw instead, that's the other way to go about it. I'll just die and use my true damage passive.
And also, last time we saw Apollo do this, I believe he was one of the guys using the Hell of Blades early on, kog'maw, for laning. Pop W, get your harassment out. Strong laning pattern, especially with Hell of Blades. It works well with braum because you can proc braum stun very quickly in lane. I do like this round out here.
And there's what you called.
Yeah. Mentioned it earlier as we're loading into the game, but the Swain is another very common answer into Lissandra. Super effective because it's so much more tanky. Has a lot of these other options of setting up junglers, sustaining through the engages, waiting out the aftershock. One of the other ones, of course, there are a lot of things that people have been trying to play into Lissandra because he's so popular and so versatile now, but you could also do the long-range damage Vel'Koz route. Fenix, to me, is much more of a Swain player. He has had extremely good Swain games, and a lot of that comes from the timing on activating his passives. And his choices there with moving people around have been very good and earning them some victories in spring.
And I do like Echo Fox's lineup as a response to a very sort of obviously dive-heavy composition. Swain can tank it through. We expect a stopwatch to come through at kog'maw at some point. And yeah, the Aatrox can revive, etc. There's a lot of sort of reviving or self-healing juggernauts that can withstand this and counter-engage. TSM forward motion, but it's still that same Rek'Sai, Lissandra, and Galio that wreaked havoc over in Game 2. That has not been disrupted, and arguably the top lane matchup even better for them with Hecarim into Aatrox, so TSM could still have a slaughter of an early game. The coaches shake hands. We'll see what this one looks like here. Either way, one team is heading to match point. The tied series in a best of 5. And it's now how well do you play? Rush had a great game 1 for most of it, and a very weak game 2. Phoenix did so much heavy lifting in game 1, was almost invisible in the second. It's how you play in the game.
I don't like how you're promoting better jungler wins meme.
Better jungler wins, you've heard it here first. Akaadian versus Rush. Certainly important. TSM and Echo Fox. We'll see what's going to happen to this one. TSM poised to make semifinals. You expected it based on the regular season. The higher seed in this matchup, it's been a close fight. On we go to Summoner's Rift, 1-1.
All right, pivotal game 3. Who's going to turn the tides in this series? Oftentimes in best of 5s, we see so much momentum go with the third game pickup here and pulling ahead 2-1. All right, braum on the table here for Echo Fox. So again, every time we see it, we mentioned possibilities of going for more creative level 1s. And I've been pushing to see more creative level 1s and going for aggressive invades when you do have champions like this to try and utilize it, especially in best of 5s, and carve out some sort of early advantage. But it looks like, and they might actually do it, delayed invade is a possibility here. It's spotted by a ward, though.
It's a very defensive level 1, of course. The instant trinket ward, you know, Akaadian can watch the other ways around, knows where they're headed, and can just slink away from Rush without much issue. Doesn't see a trinket ward go down. Phoenix did place one. I believe that was actually in that single brush over by the Raptors. Indeed, it's there.
High value Ghost Poro there, right behind the red buff. Meanwhile, bottom side, Smoothie tried to sneak in there for a little counter invade to see if he could sneak some vision a little bit deeper. Not going to be the case.
You mentioned Halo Blade's kog'maw. That is indeed the pickup there, so the early aggressive laning can be strong.
Yeah, I really actually have enjoyed it quite a lot. People have the idea in the back of their heads of the kog'maw of old, where you have to scale up for super late game and you have to have a Lulu and become this juggernaut. But
kog'maw's good all around.
It's actually just such a very effective champion. Early on in the lane phase, especially with this rune taken. So we'll see how much difference this bottom lane makes. Last time around, yeah, the Galio was the same, but Kalista is such a big part of, you know, both enabling that and going aggressive.
Yeah, I expect the Echo Fox 2-on-2 to be favored here. I expect them to do better. We saw in game 1, they took, I think, like 3 plates before those fell, just in the straight up 2-on-2, so that could be happening. This, though, is also expectation for top lane. Broken Blade should be handily winning this matchup over against Solo.
Yeah, Hecarim can charge up Conqueror very, very easily. You can push the wave by walking into the minion.
But they've got a stun and one more auto attack on a
that
Smoothie.
Minion.
Yeah, that almost was an auto attack on a Smoothie, and that could have been maybe the flag and drag, but no gank to be had. Summoner heal still. Burned by Zven. That little pressure got a summoner out.
All right, one summoner down. Very important for this bottom lane with the all lanes possible. But again, it's defensive summoners for Echo Fox. They've got Cleanse and Exhaust as their combat summoners, not the heal or Ignite. Of course, taking Cleanse on kog'maw when you're looking at a lineup like this does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because you have so much utility out of it later on. It does mean that maybe there will be less options for those kills here.
And once again, vertical jungling, though, as Akaadian takes his top half of his jungle and then comes in for the Scuttle and the blue buff. The Jarvan of Rush doing a very similar thing, and actually a new look now. Early recall, and he's going to try to match his own jungle. Oddly enough, though, Rek'Sai is actually not doing it either.
Yeah, and again, when you're talking about opting into splitting the jungle, so we go for a mid lane gank.
That's an early force, and that's a nice pullback right there. Pulls him in, the flash to follow in, the heal, it's not enough! And first blood, 3 games in a row for Akaadian.
Phoenix is gonna want that one back. TSM find the kill again. Bjergsen goes in this time around, and Akaadian is able to finish it off. Rek'Sai with first blood money, Phreak. That is terrifying.
That is absolutely terrifying, and we can watch that fight yet again. They just had the damage.
Yeah, all right, so Phoenix flashes away, but wants to get a punishment off for them trying to gank him. So he walks back up to deal some damage in the trade, while Akaadian is still here. If you're gonna disrespect Akaadian like that, he's gonna make you pay for it. Flashes in, they get the kill. He's rolling with an extra longsword on top of the blue smite already. And he's set up once again to rule the jungle.
He really is. This is such a solid start for him. Blue Smite is there, longsword in, more stats than Rush. This is going to look really solid.
Yeah, I actually see that mistake a lot from mid laners that get angry when they're ganked, trying to get out a little bit of damage after the tail end of it does pay off, but just stepping up like that exposes himself to the second flash. Top side.
Nice play by Broken Blade. Yeah, jukes out the third Q, and look at that damage output he's got. And meanwhile, in mid lane, Fenix gone again.
Well, this one is going to snowball. Another kill for Akaadian here. And Rek'Sai should be able to continue the invade. Rush knows he's got no mid laner in addition to the extra kills here on Rek'Sai. Smites away the big chicken and is able to clean up most of the small ones as well.
This is getting out of hand rapidly. It's getting faster and faster in TSM's favor. Rush barely able to clear some minions out, and that's it.
I would want to take a look at the replay, but with the teleport timing here, I'm assuming Fenix teleported to a minion out in the wave, maybe?
He had some time.
Okay, so he was just walking around.
Yeah.
And Akaadian just camped. Really good job there by Akaadian, immediately returning to the scene of the crime. Punishes the flashless mid laner here. No extra vision for Fenix. No extra pressure, opened up around there from Rush. Yeah, there definitely feels good to get those. We definitely take those. But a stat I was going to bring up for Fenix was that he was one of the least warding mid laners in all of the LCS for all of spring. Yes, he has been great in lane. Yes, he has been such a force for Echo Fox, winning a lot of their games, especially like Zoe play. He plays very aggressively though, and has fairly low warding numbers, which can come back to bite you, especially when you've just flown both of your summoners.
Akaadian's camp so far paying off pretty well. And we look at the other lanes, though. Small advantage to the Echo Fox duo, somewhat expected based on matchup, and that early heal forced out, forcing defensive play. Top lane, Solo was holding on, though Steel feels pretty good. Keep in mind, Solo's now flashless from an earlier play out of Broken Blade, but Ignite is up, so that's summoner advantage. That can turn around. Rush getting some nice time. Go for this Infernal Drake. Now, Rek'Sai's on that side of the map. Based on what Akaadian thinks about, he could potentially stop him.
Big. Rush is going to get found out. There's a controller behind their red buff as well, so even him entering the river.
Yeah, but they're trying now for Akaadian.
Hakuho lands.
What he can press, they find the Q, looking for a little bit more. Does not have flash. This could be the damage, and a trade kill comes in, crucially to the kog'maw.
Nice shot there by Fenix. Pulls Akaadian back in, and now they will be able to get the Drake here. Infernal Drake picked up. Bottom lane pushing for them. Apollo and Hakuho so stable for this team yet again. Finding some pressure here. Really like that kog'maw pick in the second half. Pays off.
Forces the ult, can't find the knockup. Plenty of damage on towards Solo. Broken Blade able to just trade that back and forth. Solo wants to revive, but he's not going to get to, so keep in mind, Broken Blade has ult Ignite. There it is. Doesn't even need to press it, but does gets the kill. Solo 1v1.
Yeah, I mean, especially Conqueror on, you got to see that one coming. He just goes for it right under the turret. Immediately takes down Solo. Is rewarded for his kill.
Goes for the engage on the mid lane as well. He'll live.
All right, Akaadian knows that he's gone too far. He walked back right there to try and dodge out a braum Q, but Hakuho still able to hold on, still lands it, and the collapse from Echo Fox. Able to take over control of this river. That is pretty big for them.
Oh, Broken Blade stayed so long, and Rush gets back on the map. He's going tank once again, gets a solo kill. Doesn't even get a play. I don't know what Broken Blade quite stayed for.
Yeah, this series really been back and forth, and game 3 going to be no different. Echo Fox still fighting here. Yes, they are still down 1,000 gold even after this kill, but they've got a ward on it the whole time, so he knows he can flash for it. Gets in there with the knockup, with the slow, has ultimate to dunk, and Rush finds some gold for himself with this. Very important after they just killed Akaadian to put a stop to this Rek'Sai snowballing. Rush is now a level ahead with that solo kill experience.
That's some nice stuff. We're gonna go for this blue buff pretty quickly as well. That'll be an easy handoff to Swain. Get it low enough and the W can take it. One of the nice things about Swain, you don't have to actually leave your lane to grab your buff. Yeah. Solo's gonna walk around and say, hey, are you safe? Here's a control ward. That, okay, it's enough, good.
Sauron is watching. Don't take that blue.
Meanwhile, only one ring, which is all you need for Fenix on that Sauron-esque champion. So I guess he's all right. Still a 1,200 gold lead puts TSM ahead. There's a quick grab on the other blue buff, and we've got a fairly close one here.
And I'd say the biggest discrepancy in this game is if you look at the mini-map right now and where the vision is. We've got so much of the Echo Fox vision up on this top side where TSM do have the winning matchup. Meanwhile, all the control wards for TSM are again focused bottom side where they're heading right now. Bjergsen roaming past their control wards, able to control so much of this jungle. Echo Fox's own red side is dark to them.
Yeah, and I actually like where he set the Scars Bloom and actually looks for if Rush could have been down there, looking over the red buff and the Krugs. It wasn't on either, but braum saw that bloom. They knew where Bjergsen was coming and that he's going to stay safe, and now Rush is back in. But Broken Blade gets to kill the control ward and continue his pressure running around top side.
Yep, very strong winning matchup on the top side. He's got his kill onto the Aatrox already for the extra money. Early Ninja Tabby boots, plus the parts of his phage. Feeling very, very confident here. Pushes up, goes for the invade, and TSM keeping the pressure on.
And Kobe, those wards you circled 20 seconds ago, they're all gone now. That's all been swept, so now that topside safety is been revoked. And Solo, though he has ult and flash, probably has to feel a little afraid of what might go on here. Dodges the claw. That means there might be a play on towards Bjergsen, but has flash up. Can easily get away from Rush. Will do so.
Bjergsen's running into a dangerous area here. As you mentioned, Echo Fox no longer have vision, so you can't over chase in situations like that. Rush does find Akaadian at the Rift Herald, though, chases him off and ensures that they won't take an extra objective. Still has the extra level lead here currently over Akaadian until those Krugs get picked up.
Yep. Now level lead for Bjergsen, of course, as well, and 20 CS. Rush going to see that Broken Blade is here, but he needs reinforcements. This is not an easy 1v1 to win.
Careful.
And Akaadian's nearby. Doesn't land the Q, so there's no ult just yet. Jumping forward, has to flag and drag away, stays alive. Broken Blade, will he go for the engage? Yes, ult, E, a lot of damage. Rush's days are numbered. He's going to fall. A couple more shots will do him in, and there's that kill. Now Solo, 1v3, looks for Broken Blade. They've got Swain. They might just get the trade kill, and they do. Now on the backside is a stun. That second kill picked up. Akaadian can't run away, or can he? They finally get the trade. A 2-for-2, and Fenix picks up a big kill.
And only the mid laners are left standing here. Double buffs go over to Fenix. Health advantage to Bjergsen, though, and he gets back to the wave first to push it in. What a collapse. Both junglers, both top laners going down in that fight for that scuttle.
And the top lane waves the equilibrium. That's not going to be too much of a problem. Nice by Bjergsen. I like that he got the plate. He got the aftershock to trigger. That was pretty cute.
Yeah.
He's going to force a bad recall out of Fenix right now. Bjergsen can shove that wave in easily. Force the TP out.
That play money is extremely important, and he activates his claw a little bit early, so it's not at the very end point where Fenix is throwing. The never move to pull him back. Here's another look at it. Rush waiting. Fights over initially these honey fruit. Scuttle Crab here just wanting no part of the battle. Akaadian comes in to even up the 2v2, and Solo does not get the first Q. Immediately pops his ultimate and tries to turn around this fight, but being stuck outside the Jarvan Cataclysm, he couldn't add any more damage. So that means Fenix will take it into his own hands, flashes forward over the wall. Swain doesn't have to be scared there with the ultimate on, and Bjergsen actually left Akaadian quite early, doesn't stick around. They didn't think that they could win that 2v1 at the end.
Yeah, in retrospect, it was close, though. Phoenix did go down about 300, and Bjergsen's next round of cooldowns might have come back up. It's hard to say, but he chose safety. Now Broken Blade goes to the trade, able to outplay Solo's Qs pretty well, and out-sustaining the whole way through.
All right, let's take a look. Infernal Drake on the map. Junglers circling through the river, trying to get vision once again. And it's going to be about how quickly can the lanes collapse. Bjergsen is first to push in mid. He roams down. They ping down Broken Blade on the Hecarim, even walking through the river. I think TSM have this one.
Looking around, yeah, it's just all darkness right here. Both bot laners sitting on 2,000 gold in inventory. They haven't bought in a while. Either way, it's getting rushed down. Broken Blade builds the space. Infernal grab, no problem. Looking now at the re-engage towards Fenix. Gets the fear, gets everything, and he's never allowed to press a button. The re-engage not going to matter. Echo Fox only forced to run away. Some quick wave clear, but watch out. They can still come around. Next claw is up soon. Ult to follow through. Nice stopwatch, but Rush is now surrounded. There is not a way out. Broken Blade grabs his third kill of the game.
That is just slow to the party there. They just wait around the Infernal Drake while TSM are on it, and then go to peek their heads out. The objective is already lost, and they lose 2 more kills on it. And that's going to mean mid tower's taking a lot of damage. Rift Herald's taking a lot of damage. Solo's taking a lot of damage.
Yes, he is. He's down to half. Has the ult, but just getting worn down is enough. Broken Blade, if you can ever force the ult, you just simply wait 10 seconds and then kill him afterwards. That's a quick Herald picked up. Akaadian will grab that one without much issue.
Honestly, he could charge that on mid lane, get those last 2 plates, open up the map, get a large chunk of money. They do want someone to stick around, to be around for those plates when he activates it, but mid tower going down this early would mean that Echo Fox would lose control of their entire jungle and TSM could continue to invade.
Just gonna hope to scale. kog'maw's good in team fights that actually, I mean, based on comp, it's hard to say if he's gonna do better than Zven with equal gold, but Zven feels like he's kind of ahead right now. Despite that one kill picked up to the kog'maw, their gold pretty close together. Overall, looks a couple plates went through and it finally broke back towards Apollo here, but first power spikes are in, Rage Blade halfway through, and some pressure maybe towards bottom side. That ward not yet killed, afraid of Hakuho and Apollo.
Yeah, this bottom river control has been objective number one ever since game number one for TSM. It has definitely turned the tides.
Zven's got max rank Q and he's got the evolve in it with the new school Storm Razor into pickaxe build. No clips at all for Echo Fox. The lanes are getting worse and worse for them actually over time.
Yeah, the attack speed on Storm Razor also setting you up to try and follow that quickly as you can with another
Boots and a Zeal upgrade, yeah.
Seems to be the option there, trying to go in on kind of a mid-game, very quick power spike, double evolution. Does make a lot of sense here. Apollo trying to get his Rage Blade going on a similar timeline though.
Momentarily, this kog'maw was slightly up in gold last I checked. Either way, it's still pretty close, and TSM, of course, winning everywhere else. 40 CS, the mid lane difference. That's actually growing over time. Even though Fenix grabbed a kill for himself recently, and Bjergsen's only on assists, it feels like Lissandra has a lot of control. 2 kills up in this matchup.
Yeah, you mentioned it before, but TSM, first blood every time. Last 2 games in mid lane. Akaadian visiting Fenix, making him pay. Bjergsen gets the money, gets the mid turret.
And is after the plates, but it's still first turret gold in this game. That's 150 bonus. As Shelly will lose some more health, and a little bit goes back towards Fenix here. That both worn by Rush through that bottom side. And we wait for the next play. 3,500 gold puts TSM ahead. Akaadian safely tunnels away. Rush not going to find that play here. Fenix now finds level 11. Rank 2 ult. Rush, gotta be careful. It's the W, not the ult. The ult would have stopped him mid-flag and drag, but not the root.
Yeah, Echo Fox had to be very careful because even though they had to... Oh, never mind.
It's the hard dive. Apollo left alone has some damage towards them. He will not die to this one. Doesn't have aggro. That tree damage won't be enough. They're going to stay around for more damage down here. They've got Akaadian nearby as well.
Yeah, Hakuho had roamed up to try and support Rush in his mid-movement there. However, it costs them bottom side. Zven and Smoothie do strike. They take down Apollo. They take both of his summoners with him.
TSM just not giving up anything in this game. Look at that lead, a clean 4,000. 1-0 on turrets, and we'll make that 2-1 pretty soon. No one's going to defend this one. They're backing off. They're afraid of Bjergsen, and rightly so. He's been a part of so much in this game. And TSM getting farther and farther ahead now in this one. Game 3 looking likely.
Definitely some changes need to be made here for champion select as well. Let's take another look at this. Apollo gets tagged. Smoothie flashes over the wall, able to land that taunt, even with the double summoners afterwards. Apollo is toast.
Aftershock blocks it and just able to fight it kind of away from the turret the whole time because Apollo flashed away. It was actually a very easy dive. Not a lot of defense left over. Rush just farming, still doing the same. Still 2 deaths on him. Has been part of a little bit of this, the Broken Blade getting the better of this game so far. Now another fight, not gonna find much that was solo.
Yep, Hecarim gets to laugh about that one. It's very easy for him to walk out of the chains. Very easy to dodge so much of the sweet spot damage from all of Aatrox's Qs. You feel so clunky when you're playing Aatrox into Hecarim with all the extra move speed that Hecarim gets, and Broken Blade even going the Frozen Fist, mostly armor and health build here. There is actually very, very little that Solo can do, even if he manages to land some of the Qs in that matchup.
Plenty sustain, Corrupting Potion in case you need it. Here comes the Ocean, now picked up at 18 minutes and change. TSM gonna get that one without anyone even looking their way. Then it'll help, do like 80 damage. Thanks, bud. There's the smite, there's the pickup. TSM keeping that full court press going as Fenix has to farm his Krugs. There's nothing else safe on the map.
All right, speaking of the rest of the map here and not being safe, the mid tower was taken, so even that little journey that Hakuho, Apollo, and Rush just took up into the river, had to be very careful, sticking S3, placing down their control ward in their Ghost Burrow, just fighting to carve out a little bit of vision here in the map to defend around this missing turret.
And actually, it looks like Apollo stopped to buy a Ninja Tabby. 800 gold spent on 20 armor when I feel like most of the physical damage dealt is not really even auto attack based. And That's going to delay that power spike that I think he needs for a mid-game team fight. Baron's up in a minute. He will not have Rage Blade money by then. That might be really crucial. He's another 1,000 gold above what he has right now. Meanwhile, Zven getting pretty close to that next one.
Yeah, I do think that TSM are the ones that want to push this game forward fairly quickly here. Does Zven have the upgrade, by the way? Yeah.
Q and E upgraded. Boots plus a couple of daggers is enough with that.
Yeah, that's the whole Stormrazor. Like, it's so early when he gets both of them. Now you have a lot more survivability in team fights due to the utility there, going invisible. We'll see if they actually bring it to front, though. Level 11 has also come in, and they definitely have control. They just need to push up, probably take the last top turret first before they really start to overextend. Galio ultimate is available, though.
We've got plenty of targets for that one with the dive. Apollo is flashless, could be a target. The rest of the squad, Fox can get away. But when Broken Blade regroups, that'll be the call. That's when they go for it. Looking at him slow and Smoothie. Decent damage here. Needs 2 more auto attacks. 1 more, not going to find him. Out he goes. Now this turret taking fire. And look at this Broken Blade. No one's stopping him. 3rd outer turret going to fall. TSM farther ahead now. 5,000 gold up. Baron is alive, and they've got a couple of deep wards. TSM have most of this vision control, but not all of it. It's not dark yet for Echo Fox. They've got a couple of wards scattered about. It won't be just yet, but in the next few minutes, you might see that one come through.
Yeah, I think the only thing here for Echo Fox is just trying to funnel as much money onto Apollo as possible to get that Rage Blade completed. If they have that for the team fight, then they have some hope.
Yeah, he still needs the rest of the combined cost. About 500 gold shy. And that'll be an important spike. Rage Blade, though, done for Zven. Of course, first to that spike. And that could be pretty meaningful if they can find that battle. Broken Blade grabs the blue buff himself. Now keep in mind, he gets nothing except for mana out of that. He's already maxed CDR, but grabs it all the same.
All right, bottom side, he's going to push up as well. Pretty easily here for TSM to just default into the 1-3-1. Broken Blade and Bjergsen both have their teleports ready. Their mid lane is actually very defensive here. Kaisa, as we keep mentioning, has the E upgrade, can get out of most of the engagements there from Echo Fox. So it's all about picking your moment here for Echo Fox. Rage Blade's done for Apollo.
I think that's the moment. Zhonya's done for Fenix here as well. Rank 2 ults across the board, aside from Hakuho, which is just a little bit less relevant. So if there's a time, it's going to be Echo Fox contesting the Drake or contesting the Baron. It's up to when TSM wants to be aggressive, because it feels like Fox will not be the ones to pull the trigger. They'll be the ones to react, but maybe they find something. A bit of damage, but that's all. Red buff onto Apollo, actually meaningful as well. That bonus range, getting that true damage burn and that slow could be valuable. Then tag.
Another thing that Echo Fox need to keep in mind is the possibility of the Lissandra flank. Solo's having a hard time dealing with this 1v1. I think at the turret he should be okay in clearing out the minions, but maybe not.
Yeah, right underneath. It takes a lot of damage, though. He's going to actually ult away from this one. Now, Hakuho not going to find Akaadian yet, but that was a bit too aggressive for Broken Blade. Pulled turret aggro because of the Corrupting Potion.
Yeah, good defense there from Echo Fox. They rotate down from the mid lane to defend against the possible dive here. Make sure that Solo can still hold the turret.
Yeah.
What I was about to mention, though, something that I have to keep in mind is the possibility of these Lissandra flanks. Bjergsen is pushing the wave and then pulling back into Fog of War. You want to remain off the enemy minimap as long as possible. As a champion like Lissandra, you just impose this fear on the enemy team. Any space they don't have warded could be a possible engagement from a Lissandra, and that would be devastating.
Absolutely could be. You got to keep those sides. You got to look around for when Bjergsen comes around. You know he's fearsome. He's gotten some really good flanks in before. I think a lull state, though, still does help Echo Fox. I really like their scaling. Swain can become unkillable. I think he can withstand a Kaisa even in a 6-item state and kill her first. I still think it's TSM who must be aggressive, and they've got the tools to do so. That leads still exactly 5,000.
Now, right now, they are rotating Broken Blade up. I think they just got spotted, but they're possibly going for a collapse there. Dragon's about to spawn.
Yeah.
It is a mountain dragon, so not the most critical.
Bjergsen can TP. He's back in base. He's got to get a regular ward to TP onto. He's pulling it right now. Coming in through the jungle. Echo Fox have to really realize this and get away. They can find the engage. There's the stun. Out goes Apollo. But here comes Hecarim. And goodbye to the butterfly. The re-engage comes across, but do they have the damage? damage. Fenix must carry it. Does he have it? The dunk in from Rush. Bjergsen's low. They get that first shutdown. 4v4 solo. Cut down though already, and Rush has nowhere to run. They're gonna find all of these kills. Rush and Hakuho, the last one's alive. There's 4 quick kills picked up, and poor braum is gonna try to run, but he finds a new friend, and he's pushed away. TSM, a 4-for-1 team fight. They can take whatever they want. Mountain Drake, not even in their eyes. They're going top side. They're going towards that Baron right now.
Hakuho's running for his life, throwing back those Qs over.
He's gonna drop! At least the execute.
He waited out the 10 seconds there. It is gonna be very futile because TSM will pick up the Baron. However, he was able to deny the gold.
It's gonna be futile. TSM are the lords in this one, and Echo Fox just the serfs here. Nice team fight, TSM. Get the ace, only lose one. Baron buff on the team. They are smashing this game.
TSM. We were just talking about a Lissandra flank Phreak. Here it comes. Bjergsen's able to find the teleport in on the Rek'Sai tunnel and goes straight for Apollo. Dive composition fully operational. Broken Blade then ults Apollo with the Galio coming in on top. And even though Fenix on the Swain does create a lot of space, causing TSM to flash out, picking up the 1 kill, there is no damage source here. The kog'maw taken down at the beginning of the fight without being able to get off any auto attacks means that the rest of members of TSM can clean up Echo Fox. There's nowhere to run.
Yep. Bjergsen burning flash ult just to get sums out of Apollo. Easy cleanup there on the Broken Blades and they worked really, really well. So now Baron buff on, I think the entire squad. It looks like it's orbiting Zven as well. He respawned in time. So easy pickups, and it wasn't Zven who died, it was Bjergsen. I gotta look for him, but either way, it's looking very, very good. TSM, look at that lead, 7,500.
I think it was Akaadian, so we're all good.
All right, we're gonna find out. Either way, Bjergsen has 1 death. I think it was him. It doesn't matter. Looking at the engages, Echo Fox is not gonna find that Q in though. Looking at something. We can see both solos are visible. Broken Blade and Bjergsen. Only one has TP. Echo Fox is not finding their way in on this one at all.
All right. Slowly check. Don't have to be too cautious here. Apollo's waiting for this stun. Not gonna go for it. Okay. Yeah, they're just trying to defend right here. Everybody split out. Both teleports are technically available, so they could have the teleport advantage with Bjergsen on Lissandra being the one that can't join. But he could try and interrupt Fenix.
Bam. The turret goes down. Demolish working well. Baron buff on the 5 of them, it looks like. And TSM, look at this now, 4-0 in turrets. Gold lead 8,000 and change. Here comes the dive, possibly towards solo. Lissandra over the wall. Nope, just for the turret. And that'll be a clean pickup there as well. 5-0 now in these structures. Fenix not in range just yet. Out goes Broken Blade.
All right, TSM finishing up on the turrets here. 1 secondary turret left, bottom side. Can't quite crack this one with all of the Echo Fox defense set up here. Akaadian, though, has been controlling vision through the jungle, so they're threatening once again. Baron buff goes down.
They can dunk Zven. They should have what they need for it, but Rush doesn't press the button. Instead, they've got the rest of the team re-engaging on them, and Hakuho's not going to have a health bar for very long. There's the fear in the dive in. Can't quite kill off Rush. It is a trade of kills, but getting rid of the top lane is a pretty big deal. Rush going to drop right away, but can kog'maw re-engage? Here comes Bjergsen, finds the stun. In goes Zven. Down goes the Caterpillar, and down goes the rest of Echo Fox. The quick revive, and down is Swain. And Solo's left alone, true to his name. He will drop the second ace in a row for TSM.
And TSM with Baron buff on, and every Echo Fox member in the death chamber will walk straight into the base.
The crowd knows who's winning, and so do the players. The bottom inhib gonna drop in 15 seconds, and any of the meaningful respawns, they're gonna go right for the Nexus, and they should have the time that they need. TSM a game away from making it back to the semifinals. What they did last time in summer, and getting revenge against Apollo, Hakuho, and Solo. Looks like they got the time, going for the shots, going for the quick KDA, and there goes the Nexus. TSM, 1 game away from semis.
Echo Fox opened it up with a win, but since then it has been all TSM.
Yeah.
Another Rek'Sai here for Akaadian, another Lissandra for Bjergsen, another first blood in mid lane.
Yeah, absolute control right here. Bjergsen, 2 Lissandra games in a row. Pretty solid KDAs on both of them there. The Rek'Sai is working well for Akaadian. Those early games are a solid triple first bloods, a lot of pressure in towards Fenix, and we saw what Bolter did in this matchup yesterday. Withstood all the ganks, ended up with an insane KDA. I think he was deathless. Instead, Fenix here, 5 deaths, most on his team. That's a lot of credit to Akaadian. But either way, that Swain never came online and never was that second damage source. They were able to dive the kog'maw. Of course, Apollo's going to die when Lissandra and Hecarim do that to you. You can't outplay that without a Tahm Kench in your team.
I
So
think
someone
also,
else has to do it.
yeah, I think also blind picking the Aatrox is not going to be a good option anymore.
Now with Hecarim up, and
they
they're already
banned it out
spending
first
bans.
time around, yeah.
And this is of course EchoFox already spending 3 bans, the same 3 bans every single game against Broken Blade. Aurelia, Rise, and Akali dropped off.
Yeah.
Still pops off in the Hecarim, still doing good work. So now to hear more on how TSM brought the series to match point, let's send over to the State Farm Analyst desk.
Thank you very much, Phreak. Things are ramping up here in the series between TSM and EchoFox as TSM pushes it to match point, 2-1 at this point. All about the early game, it looks like, for these two squads as the series kind of rolls forward. Akaadian getting the better of Rush yet again.
Right, he's gotten first blood all 3 games, and historically he's always been known as the first blood king, and that's something that still shows true to this day.
I mean, this is a big problem as well, not just in terms of like great for Akaadian, but Fenix has historically been a player who tries to fight these kind of 2v1. So even after having to flash out, not going in, here having his trinket ward up and not prioritizing vision enough. He's almost consistently the lowest warding mid laner in the league, nearly every split. And there, with Bjergsen freezing the lane on you, you need to get a ward out before you dare to approach that wave. Doesn't do it, gets picked on, and the big counter pick in the mid lane falls apart instantly.
It's a bit tilting for your own jungler to be like, oh yes, I've given you the vision. You know where the jungler is. You've just avoided the gank, and yet you still go back in and die.
You saw those numbers pop up on your screen there, 58 out of 78 for first blood participation over his career. That's just over 74%. He's 100% in this series today. Very much the first blood king. And as we previewed in this matchup, it seems to be all about the top side of the map. Those junglers and how they can either influence the top lane or the mid lane.
And the picks that have gone top lane as well. The Aatrox banned in game 2, now early rotation in the top lane. But curiously enough, when we heard Bjergsen last week talking about Broken Blade in the top lane, he mentioned that he has essentially an endless arsenal of counter picks to the top lane. You blind the Aatrox, surprise, he busts out the Hecarim. So now, Solo can't just blind his top laner. They're going to have to try to get a different side to try to change things up because it seems like Broken Blade just has an answer for everything that Aatrox or Solo does.
I mean, everything's grooving right now for them. They also switched up their bot lane for TSM where they're not going for the hyper aggressive Kalista. They go for the scaling in Kaisa, and it's still fine because everything else on the map is working well. Rush did a better job this game, finding kills, one in the river and one later top, but it's not enough to offset the other problems that are showing up now.
This is the Rush that we saw like a month ago, not in the last 4 games of EchoFox.
Right, I hope that they stop first picking Jarvan. I think Jarvan is good with the right setup, but you really need that Galio to make it a lot more of a threat. Jarvan going in by himself isn't really that much of a threat, especially if you're building tank. So I believe they're going to take a look at what they're doing and switch things up for this next game.
Hi, how do you stop the bleeding against a jungler like Akaadian? I mean, you've obviously had experience against a slew of LCS junglers, all with different play styles, some who play aggressively. You played against Bjergsen as well. So what would you do in this situation to prevent any of that bad stuff from going awry, right, in the first 10 minutes of the game?
Right. I mean, the most important thing to do against junglers, no matter whether they're ahead or behind, you have to get vision. Like, I believe Fenix came back without a pink ward after his first death, TPing in without one. And if he did have one, he didn't drop it before walking up to lane. You have to prioritize vision against early game junglers.
I think an alternative too is you pick champions that are mobile and can get away from ganks. Swain is not that guy. Maybe with cleanse against the Lissandra it could work, but somebody like Zoe, somebody like Corki, he barely avoided dying in that first gank in game 2, but just making it so that your champions are way more mobile and have ways to get out. Tahm Kench in the bottom lane would have saved the kog'maw a lot more than a braum, or maybe going with a Tristana, something that's a lot more mobile, even a Kalista. So just making sure that your champions can escape on their own helps a lot with a guy that's trying to gank you.
I feel like if you're warping your draft so much around a Rek'Sai pick that you're prioritizing defensively, being able to escape ganks nonstop, you have a very big problem on your hands.
Right.
Because you need to be able to track him better, you need to get better wards out, you need to be able to react better and have your own aggressive plays that you're making so he's not constantly getting the tempo advantage to force these plays. Like, if you're at the point where you're warping your entire draft around a jungler, you're probably losing the series.
Just ban it then.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, like, maybe
Akaadian
Akaadian plays J4 then, or some other early game champion. They need to find a solution not in draft to controlling his early game.
To the style.
Yes,
Well,
to the
specifically
style.
for Swain and to Lissandra, we saw Pulbolter do that yesterday, right? I think a large difference was their rune choice, actually. He went the spell book, so he
yeah.
could get the cleanse and the heal.
Yep.
And Fenix didn't do that this game. I think if he did that, he would have lived those ganks. He was very close to dying on that. Had he had heal or had he cleanse, he definitely would have lived. So I don't think you need to change your champion. Rune choices are a pretty big deal too.
This is, of course, all lane focused. I do want to take a look at one team play that occurred in this game. It's the game-winning moment for TSM. 24 minutes in, 4-for-1 around the Dragon.
You have to feel so bad for Apollo. He cleanse, flashes behind his entire team. It doesn't matter. Hecarim's here, Kaisa flies in, and
Even Rek'Sai ults her.
But to be fair, look at how this team fight could have gone if the solo lanes hadn't fallen as far behind. Yeah, TSM blows up your kog'maw, and they use everything to do it, but if the Swain was even ahead of a Lissandra like he should be, or the Aatrox didn't get counterpicked quite as hard and was able to survive the laning phase a little bit better, you have a team fight that maybe you can kill a couple people back. At the end of the day,
but
it's
that's
still
not
very
winning
hard.
a game.
Yeah,
Kog'maw's
still not
dead
winning.
at the start of the fight.
Kog'maw's dead at the start of the fight. I think, to Crumbs' point, like, if you can find a better defensive support, maybe, but at that point they had already picked the braum, so it was too late in the draft, and it feels like everyone wants more priority in the Echo Fox draft. Like, we need to save our support for a better bot lane matchup. We need a better top lane matchup. We need a better mid matchup. And it starts becoming like, well, what do you do?
And now,
Kench.
well, so let's answer the question, what do you do? But in relation to
Rek'Sai.
game 4, well, guess what? They're not going to Rek'Sai.
Okay.
So, I was sorry to bait you for that answer, only to then give you the information that they're not doing it. And so then let's talk about that. Is this a crucial misstep from Echo Fox? You need to put 2 wins back-to-back. This is your last opportunity to choose your side, as even if you win this game, TSM gets to select in Game 5. Is this a misstep by Echo Fox to never go to red side and give themselves that drafting opportunity?
You know, when I was thinking about this yesterday, why the team is picking the same side over and over, and it's happening here again, I'm pretty positive it's because throughout the entirety of the week, they've been scrimming on one side only, and they know that they can choose that side over and over. So for all the teams that are in quarters, throughout the week, they're scrimming on one side only. They request blue or they request red, whatever team they are, and that they're just sticking to their practice.
I mean, maybe they're doing that. I hope that's not the case, because if you look at what Echo Fox is doing in this draft, you're first picking Jarvan, which is doing nothing for you, and then you're not getting counter picks in lanes and getting destroyed for it. I think it's the kind of thing where I would love to have seen them swap it up, and if they've only prepared blue side strats like the Season 2 CLG excuse from Worlds, like,
It's not.
you're
then
gonna
that's
lose.
unacceptable.
You're gonna lose.
Dude.
Yeah.
We saw them first pick Jarvan like all the last 2
Yeah.
weeks, right? You didn't have to watch
Went
anything. You're like,
4-0.
oh, it's the same strategy all over
Yeah,
again.
but it's not working right now to the point. So you got to find something else to do, and if maybe they can still make adaptations. It's not like blue side, red side is the only thing you can do.
That's very high level. I want to distill this down just to something that's a little bit more metabolizable,
Wow.
if that's a word.
It is.
Okay, great. It is now, right? Given that they are remaining on blue side, this game, or this series rather, seems to be determined very much by the early action that's happening. What are 1 or 2 key factors for Echo Fox that might catalyze them in the early game to strike back?
I would say they can change up their bans. I say at this point, just toss out a ban to Rek'Sai. Like, why not? It's destroyed you 2 games in a row. No matter how good you think you are, if the champion is beating you, just ban it. Throw away your ego, throw away your pride. Just ban the champion, make him do something different, and try and get that Kindred again if they don't ban it out.
Look at what TSM did in Game 2. They lost against Echo Fox. They banned 3 out of the 5 champions that they picked in that game, right? Like, that is just saying, show me something new. They got to do the same. Lissandra, Rek'Sai 2 times. Like, come on, you guys got to make TSM show something else.
Perfect. Thank you guys very much. Confirm metabolizable is a word. All right, now TSM are a game up. See if Echo Fox can even the score in Game 4. Don't go anywhere.